प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। We saw those two beautiful verses in the last class where we were told our best friend is we ourselves and our worst enemy is also we ourselves. When we handle ourselves with maturity, our own body, our own mind, our own intellect, our own breath, and whatever else you can count. You can talk about IQ, EQ, and 100 things. We have a number of things which are a great gift of nature to us. But if all of them are not used properly, they can turn our enemies. Very much like a knife in the kitchen. If we use the knife in the kitchen properly, it's good for us to cut fruits, cut vegetables, and do things to prepare a good meal. And cut many things. You need the knife. No house can run without a knife. Knife and scissors and those things. But if we misuse the knife in a fit of anger, we, let us say, hurt others or hurt ourselves, it's going to be terrible. So, where the word Atma is used, we saw in Shankara's commentary, the word Atma, which has the general sense of oneself, here means यकरणसङ, the assemblage of grosser aspects of our personality like the body called karya and subtler aspects of our personality such as the mind. If this Atma is properly handled, then it is the best friend. If it's improperly handled, it's the worst enemy. So with that, two verses which are highly motivational, the text continues, and that's where we will see in this class, starting from 7th verse. Sri Krishna picks up the thread where we had left and talks about Jitatma. Jitatma is somebody who has the necessary self-control. These verses can be of immense use for especially beginners. And the beginners are the majority in this world, let's not forget. And many among us also are beginners. Just because we have been hearing the Vedanta for 20 years, it doesn't mean we are advanced. We become advanced the day we have the maturity to deal with our senses and the mind in a proper way. Not to overeat, not to oversleep, not to overtalk, not to, same way, not to undereat, not to undersleep, not to undertalk. There has to be the right quantity, which has certain margin, of course. And everyone has to know the ideal quantity of sleep or talk or food or many other things. By many other things, I mean how much money you need. Please don't have too much money, especially if you get attached to it. Finally, it boils down to attachment. Somebody may have a lot of money, but is not attached to it, no problem. But generally, you see, when we have money, we have a big house, we have several cars, it's almost next to impossible to not be attached, not to get distracted by them. Therefore, 9 out of 10 saints advise literally to have less possessions, literally to have less contacts, literally we must have less activities when we reach a certain higher spiritual stage, because otherwise you are trying to have the cake and eat it too. Somebody had 3 wives and was saying, I want to be very spiritual. And he was contemplating marrying a 4th lady also. Now, in 9 out of 10 cases, it's going to be extremely difficult. If he is some Janaka Maharaja, if he is some extraordinary person, already very high on the spiritual scale, he may have. So in principle, it's not what you have, but it's how much you are attached to persons, things, places, etc. So the shloka goes, let's read number 7. Jitātmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah shītoshna sukha dukkeshu tatha manapamanayoh. What a great language Lord Krishna uses. Paramatma, Supreme Self, or take it as God. God is very close. Samahitaha here means very close, sitting as though next to you. Moment you have the necessary self-control. For a Jitatma, Paramatma is very near. Jitatma naturally will have great prashanti, great peace. And external situations don't matter. Shītoshna sukha dukkeshu. In different scenarios, where sometimes it could be too cold, sometimes it could be too hot, sometimes it could be pleasurable scenarios, some other time it could be very saddening situations. Mana apamana yoho. It could be where you are honored, and it could be a scenario where people threw insults at you. You never know. You never know what interaction will lead to, what an interaction ends up. You expect a certain interaction to, let's say, be very profitable, but you may end up in losses. Sometime back, somebody wanted my counsel, my advice, my words of guidance. And very rarely this happens, but it so happened this person of almost my age began saying, Swamiji, can you help me, and so on. Then in between he asked me a couple of questions. He said, have you gone through such situations? I said, in my life I have also gone through situations where there was some financial loss, or somebody who was a friend left and went away, where somewhere I was praised, somewhere I was not thought well of, and so on. To make the reference to short, this person changed gear, as they call it. It's changed the gear while driving, we change the gear. He changed the gear and then said, he went on saying, Swamiji, I think if you have also gone through, and from your tone it seems you need some guidance now. I said, okay, interesting. He came to me for guidance and he wants to guide me now. All right. I said, in what way? And he said, Swamiji, I live in Jabalpur and there is a very good counselor here. And I think you must meet that counselor. All it requires is 1 hour over phone. You talk to him. He will help you sort out all your conflicts. I just said, oh, thank you very much. And later on, I did not respond to any of his. This man was so new to me. So, suppose somebody who knows me for a long time has something, then I would have discussed a little bit. What makes you say that, and so on. This fellow, in one or two phone calls, uh, so comes to some conclusions. He hardly knows me, but he jumped to the conclusion that I need the help of that counselor in Jabal. But after putting the phone down, I wondered, is he some kind of an agent for that counselor in Jabalpur? Does he get a commission if there are charges? I don't know whether it was offered free or at a cost. Why is he jumping to providing a counselor for me 1 hour per week on phone that will help me in all kinds of, even mention of some diabetes, etc. came. Said that counselor in Jabalpur can guide you. you know. So, you never know, mana apamana. I was a little embarrassed. After putting the phone down, I said, I wasted 2 3 hours with this guy on phone. I thought I would be of some help to him, and not knowing me at all, just because I was a little humble and open when he said, did you go through this or that? I said, I have also in life, as everybody goes through ups and downs, I have gone through ups and downs. That was enough for him to almost pounce upon me, if I may use a little exaggerated word. Otherwise, he was a very good man. Otherwise, I wouldn't really call him with any bad name, bad words. But you see, mana apamana, we never know. We think there is profit, there may be loss. We think the weather will be good, the weather will be very bad. We think the flight will be on time, it's 2 hours late. And some other time we think we will reach in time, the airport or railway station, we get a few minutes late and we miss the train, we miss the uh, plane and so on. Life is not in our hands. In view of that, the best thing spirituality advises us, the best thing to do is keep your house in order. Be self-controlled. Learn to have positive outlooks. Learn to be cheerful. Learn to be taking initiatives. Learn to be proactive. If you have some of these qualities, then you have managed yourself well. Then no matter what the situation is, you will be able to handle it far better than otherwise. Adi Shankara very nicely says, the word jitatmanaha means karyakarana sangataha atma jitaha yena saha. The word atma means karyakarana sangata. Adi Shankara perhaps knew that many readers of this shloka will mix things up. Jitatmanaha, one who has come to control the pure self. Oh my God, the pure self doesn't need any control, or it cannot be controlled. Pure self, first of all, has no problem. The pure self doesn't need counseling. The pure self doesn't need some guidance. The pure self, Satchidananda Brahma, is shining and it has unconditional love. It has tremendous peace. It has all happiness. You don't have to conquer Atma, the pure self. Then why is it called Jitatma? The word Atma, never forget, has meanings on a vertical scale. There are several meanings. At the highest, it is the pure self, unborn, undying, never subject to disease, hunger, thirst, etc. But on lower levels on that vertical scale, the same word Atma can mean the Jivatma, the Sansari Atma, the transmigrating soul, and on a further note or an even lower level. The Atma means, as Shankara gives the appropriate meaning here, Karyakarana. You have your body. Do you exercise? Do you eat right food? Do you give proper rest to the body? Then you are a Jitatma. You are using the body recklessly and then complain, I have no peace of mind. Begin with managing the body, then the senses, and so on. Atma here is Karyakarana Sanghata, coming together of gross and subtle parts of the personality. Yena jitaha sa jitatma tasya jitatmanaha prashantasya. If the house is in order, there will be a lot of peace. But then one has to go deeper to gain spiritual wisdom. Control is not everything. Self-control is a prerequisite, but it's not everything. You have to finally study the Vedanta. The Vedanta has to be studied steadily for a length of time, sincerely, from a competent teacher. If the teacher himself is ambitious, if the teacher herself has plans for acquiring this or becoming that and so on, then you also suffer at the hands of that incompetent teacher. The teacher also should be free of personal desires. Then the journey can get completed. Otherwise, with just a degree of self-control, you can't go very far. I have met a number of sadhus, brahmacharis, swamis, etc., who have terrific self-control in a certain sense with respect to food or daily requirements and so on. If you go to Himalayas, you will find some sadhus who live maybe on just two sets of clothes. One is drying, another they are wearing. And the next day they wear the second set, the first set goes for wash and dry. They themselves do it. And their belongings are so less. And they eat maybe just once a day. And they get up at 3:30 a.m. and without fail they do yogasana and so on. Wonderful. Any one of us would envy them. But if you get close to them, stay with them for some number of days, you will find something in them has dried up. Something in them has lost its life. They have become quite mechanical. There is no true happiness. They have driven themselves into a hole, into a cave, into a certain isolation. They don't want to deal with things. They don't want to meet people also at times. They just have fallen in love with the kind of life which is incomplete. They have actually limited themselves rather than experiencing that expansion which Dhyana Yoga alone can do. So this Atma Sanyama is a stepping stone. If you do Atma Sanyama and do not apply your intellect to Jnana Yoga, you are stuck. Some sannyasis, when they sit in Vedanta class, they are sleeping. They cannot listen to the teacher. Rest of the day, wow, they seem to be so self-controlled. Cold, heat, dust. One Swami, to make the last example, said to me, I don't remember having hot, cough and cold. Many of us get it every 15 days. But this sadhu, because he does yoga daily and so on, he says he doesn't remember having got cough and cold. Maybe long back I had cough and cold. How it feels to sneeze, how it feels to have an allergy attack. He says, I don't remember. You and I would envy them. But that sadhu just going around, as they say, floating around, So, do you want to be like that? Then life doesn't have much beauty about it. There is not much sensitivity in that. In the name of sadhana, let me say this and move forward. In the name of sadhana, some people become insensitive to others' needs. They become so attached to, it's my japa time, and I don't want to see anybody now. All right, don't see, but why are you almost angry? Why are you so judgmental about a person who wants to meet you? And you seem to be judgmental. Didn't use the word nuisance, but you seem to mean that person wanting to visit you is a nuisance. That kind of tone we get in your voice. Then what spirituality is that? So spirituality involves a lot of inquiry into our attitudes, our outlooks, our relationships, etc. Otherwise, the so-called discipline is not discipline at all. Prashantasya. So don't take any of these words on surface value. What is it to be truly peaceful? Is it at the expense of others? Is it by becoming indifferent to what goes on around you? Is it by shutting your eyes with a blindfold and say, I am now peaceful? Then that is not worth having. Prashanta is neither to shut our eyes to what's going on, nor to get unnecessarily stuck in them. It's a tightrope walk. If you are careless on one side, you get attached. That's terrible. Majority of people on the earth are attached to people, to things, to money, etc. And then there are quite a number of so-called spiritual aspirants who apparently are not attached, but they have gone to the opposite. They don't like money. They don't like pleasures. They don't like good things of life. They make a face. Oh, then you are another problem. Tightrope walk. Their heart has gone dry. There is no compassion in their heart. So, can we take care neither to become indifferent and insensitive, etc., or in the name of love and friendship and care, and I'm a people person, I love people, I love everybody, I love old and young people, and you say, that actually you are so attached to so many people, then that is the problem. So these words have to be examined. That's where we repeatedly say Bhagavad Geetā is for beginners as well as advanced people. Advanced people see deeper meanings in the words like Prashantasya, Paramatma Samahita. God is so close to this yogi. Adi Shankara puts it, Sakshat Atma Bhavena Vartate. The seeker not only feels the proximity of God, but feels he is one with God. He is in God, God is in him, and so on. Further, kincha means further. Shitoshna sukhadukeshu tatha mane apamane cha. Acharya, those are words from the shloka. Acharya writes, Manapamanayoho puja paribhavayoho. Samanaha comes later, Samadrishti and so on. Shankara takes actually the next shloka also at one go, at least in the publication that I have in my hands. The commentary on the verses 7 and 8 are put together in a single paragraph. So let's see the 8th shloka. Jnana vijnana triptatma kutastho vijitendriyaha yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloshtasma kanchanaha. Jnana vijnana triptatma. Jnana is scriptural knowledge. Vijnana is when the student internalizes whatever she had studied. She begins to experience, she begins to feel, yes, this is what Gita has said, this is what that Upanishad mantra has said. I am able to feel that now. In my life, such a shift, such a change has taken place. In this way, when one experiences, one is having Vijnana also. Triptatma, one's Karana, especially one's Antakarana, is very satisfied, very much at peace. There are people in this world who, in the eyes of the world, are so successful, but they are not Triptatma. They are restless, they are unhappy. In the mundane world, and sorry to say, in the so-called spiritual world also. There are people who have built big ashrams, published many books, have traveled to 25 to 30 countries. So with all that, they may not be tripta, they may not be content, they may not be at peace with themselves. And what a contrast! In the same world, there are many who not only have less, who have failed in many of their projects, who have failed in certain enterprises, both in mundane as well as spiritual context. They have failed in some spiritual program that they wanted to do. But if they have this self-control and proper jnana, they will be able to smile amidst those failures. They will say, this is God's will. God perhaps has a different plan for me. God perhaps did not want me to, be very popular. God did not want me to have uh, students from different walks of life. The other guy has students from Bollywood, Hollywood, and some among sportsmen, etc. Celebrities are the students of another guru, so-called guru. So-called, I should say, because the real guru will not be accepted. But the so-called guru, behind all that glamour, that other guru might be still lost inwardly. In his privacy, he might be fretting and fuming at some opportunity they have lost. Whereas this guru is at peace with himself, Triptatma. Therefore, what is important is to resolve our inner thoughts, to question our desires, to actually question our wanting to become somebody. Idhu Krishnamurti had said that very insightful statement, man's sorrow is in his wanting to become. He doesn't say become what, doesn't matter. If you want to become somebody, become something, then you are hot. So, the word Triptatma is in fact a very powerful expression. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastha. Kuta here means the anvil. When they want to shape a sheet of copper or silver or gold, they put it upon what is called an anvil and beat it and bring that sheet to a certain shape. While the sheet of copper changes its shape, the anvil, which is a solid thing, which is very hard and stable, doesn't change at all. So, Kutastaha means in that manner, like the anvil, one stays without any vikar, without any modification. Vijitendriya, Jitatma had come before in this verse, Vijitendriya, while the word Atma meant several things, Karya Karana Sanghataha, here specifically Indriya. Our rise also is with control of Indriyas, our fall also is with lack of control on Indriyas. We underestimate the power of Indriyas, especially the tongue. Sometimes we find people who have a tremendous control on the tongue in one aspect of it. That means they don't care for tasty food. No tasty food tempts them. And if you and I are attached to some delicious food, good coffee or tea, etc., we see them. How come they are not interested? But within an hour you find they are so talkative. That means the same tongue as Karmendriya has gone berserk in their case. They go on and on and on, and nobody can stop them. They get into every conversation. They don't actually sit back and try to listen to others. They want to join, they want to pitch in. And some kind of inexplicable unrest seems to be in their bosom. Then you say, oh, life is very strange. One tongue as a Jnanendriya is under control, but the same tongue as Karmendriya has gone berserk. Vijitendriya, you and I need to be moderate in dealing with the senses, all the senses. Yukta ityuchyate yogi. Such a person is well integrated, well united. As you know, the literal meaning of yukta is joined. Joined well with the higher. Samaloshtasma kanchana. This is a powerful expression. This is when, let's examine Samaloshtasma kanchana. It's a beautiful expression because of less knowledge of Sanskrit among people in modern times. Such expressions are not used everywhere. Not many know these expressions. Otherwise, these are expressions which have the capacity to spread like wildfire all over the world. Just as in English-knowing countries, English-speaking countries, where countries like India included, where our main language is not English, but most of the educated people can speak and can understand. Many idioms, many phrases, many expressions are so common. Why? Yes, those expressions have a certain effectiveness. So, Samaloshtasma Kanchana is like that. Kanchana means gold. Ashma means a stone. And Loshta means just a ball of soil, a ball of mud. So, whether it is a ball of soil or a hard stone or the precious gold, these people, yogis, are able to look at them equally. I hasten to add, what is meant especially is, they do not have personal attraction to them or a personal aversion. They do not want to possess or get rid of. They are at peace, neither wanting to have nor in some other circumstance wanting to get rid of. Otherwise, don't make the mistake of imagining this Sama Loshtasma Kanchana, which literally translates into equal towards a ball of clay, a stone, and gold. Don't make the mistake of interpreting as, they will take or give a stone just like they take or give gold. That would be wrong. Suppose you leave a piece of gold with them and say, I'll collect it tomorrow. They will take all care. They know that this is precious. To them it may not mean anything, but to the person who has requested them, keep it safe and tomorrow I will take it back. They know that to that person it's very valuable. If I responsibly, somebody comes and I give it away. And next day when the man comes to collect that piece of gold, you see, for me, gold is same as a ball of clay. I'll give you a ball of clay in place of the gold you left with. That will be idiotic. So there is no question of inappropriate handling of gold and stone and clay, but see the difference. In their bosom, there is no longing. Oh, I wish I had all this gold. A materialistic man would want to have gold, wants to possess. Same with, suppose there's a very handsome man walking along, a beautiful woman walking along somewhere. This yogi sees, oh, this man is so handsome. Oh, look at this lady. God has given her great charm. She can probably become a good actor, cinema. Maybe she can even win Miss India, Miss Universe, etc. Such thoughts may come. But you want her friendship? You want to get close to this handsome man? You want to get to know who he is or who she is? The yogi says, I have better things to do. They were coming, I was walking in a park, they were coming from the opposite side. I looked at them and admired. That's about it. The next moment you forget. So one does see the differences. One does see what is more valued in the world, what is less valued, and what can come handy. The hammer has its use, and the yogi knows, of course, the hammer can be used in such situations. A pair of scissors have their use. He doesn't mix up a pair of scissors with a hammer. He knows. Likewise, lastly, talents, skills. He also works with people. Somebody has leadership skills. Somebody has writing skills. Somebody has great financial, acumen. So yogi sees all of them. But suppose he doesn't have the financial acumen that so and so has, the yogi doesn't feel low about it. What's the use of all my knowledge of Gita? As long as I don't know how to trade with stocks and shares like he does. That is, spiritual immaturity. Why do you have to? Why do you have to do everything? There are some people who want to do everything. Everything should be under their control. Why do you have to have everything under your control? I remember in a certain laboratory, some of us were working long back. And those days, computers were new. There was some new computer which was kept locked. And one of my colleagues said, I want to use that. And he was very keen. He went to the head of department and said, I want to use that computer. I'm a faculty here after all. The head of department said it has newly come and it is yet to be properly set in motion. And this young lecturer was rather impatient. I am a teaching person here. I am not student. Why should I know? Why don't I have access to that particular equipment which is in our own department? Then I remember the HOD said very calmly, you see, have some patience. Suppose tomorrow you take a flight. Perhaps you have a business class ticket. But can you say, I want to go into the cockpit? Can you say that I have a business class ticket and I assure you I won't do anything wrong? I want to sit next to the pilot and take a look at the skies. No, it's not possible. And I am the head of department. I am the one to take decisions. You cannot go into that room until things settle down. Right? So, the idea of giving that example is, in you and me, sometimes there are certain urges. certain tendencies, certain old vasanas, you can say. So, with respect to gold, with respect to many things of the world, we may have a desire to have them under our control. Why should we have wealth under our control? Why should we have people under our control? If they are doing good job and they are headed by somebody else, okay. In this way, while being alert, while if needed, one is ready to play one's role. If not needed, one is happy otherwise also. So Shankaracharya explains the first word, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. He says, Jnanam Shastrokta Padarthanam Parijnana. Shastra speaks of many things, and one has a good understanding of what those shlokas and mantras and words mean. Vijnanam tu shastrato jnatanam tathaiva svanubhava. The word Vijnana means Swa Anubhava Karanam. One begins to experience. One says, all along I had come across these kind of things, but now I am finding it a part of my life. I feel I am now experiencing what it is to love selflessly, what it is to serve, what it is to be self-controlled. Self-control was a concept for me. Now I personally find self-control in me. I envied somebody who did not get tempted by pleasures of the world. And at a time I was tempted. Now I see I am myself not tempted by ice cream, by some delicious food, some music, some dance. I myself see what it is to have vairagya. Oh, this vairagya is so good. Such an unburdening, such a relaxation. Wow. So if you yourself experience it, like I talked of some sadhu whose heart had dried up because of not understanding scriptures properly. So some of us might have gone through that patch also. There was perhaps a time when in the name of sadhana, we had become insensitive to people around us. And then life gave some knocks, hard knocks to us. We opened them. And today, if we experience certain love for all, and if needed, not at the drop of a hat, but if needed, we even postpone our japa, our prayer, our meditation to help somebody who is going through some hard time. Take him to hospital, put him there, and then come back and do your japa. Your morning japa got delayed by 5 hours, let us say. And you have no regrets about it. You feel rather happy. I was able to take this lady to the hospital, and now there are others looking after. So you experience what it is to be sensitive, to be ready for service, and so on. Then that is called Vijnana. That's my interpretation. Shankaracharya says, Swa Anubhava Karanam. It could be on any level, in any context. Tabhyam Jnana Vijnanabhyam Truptaha. Truptaha means Sanjata Alam Pratyaya. Alam means enough. When, because of his Jnana and Vijnana, this yogi is so satisfied with whatever he has. And his Antakarana is very much at peace. Antakaranam is the meaning given to Atma. Atma is masculine, therefore Sanjata Alam Pratyayaha Atma. Antakaranam is neuter. That's because Bahuvri is Samasa Sanjata Alam Pratyayaha. If it were adjective to Antakaranam, it would have been Sanjata Alam Pratyayam. But the word is Atma. Atma in Sanskrit is masculine. In Hindi, Atma is a feminine word, interestingly. Unki Atma, Inki Atma ko Sadgati mile. So they say, but these are all linguistics. Then Kutastaha, I talked of anvil. Shankara says, Aprakampya. Kampya itself means that which can be shaken, kampana, vibrated. Whereas akampya, aprakampya. So prakampya also means that which can be shaken. Aprakampya means unshakable. Pratyate yogi samaloshta ashma kanchana. Here Shankara doesn't details. Loshta ashma kanchanani samani yasya. Somebody to whom a lump of clay, a hard rock, and gold are equal. Personally, he is not attached to them nor averse to them. But in situations where something is useful, with a certain calm mind, he may use any of these. He may even have a bit of gold and has kept it safe. He may keep it safe also. Maybe keeping in mind, my Guru is building a temple, and at the right time I will go and present it to my Guru. Some kind of bhakti. He is protecting a small piece of gold with him. Nothing that not necessary that he hates gold, but he is not attached to gold either. In this way, Bhagavad Gita gives to us a lot of opportunity to reflect on our psychology, our behavior, the way we conduct ourselves in life, and proper awareness of our shortcomings can lead to our rising above them. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.